Hello, my name is Ejen Wasasra.
And I'm Theos Gracious Baham.
There is this thing I really want. I'm pretty sure I've suffered with it, and I know there must be someone out there who maybe is going through the same or have had challenges because of that perspective on the way they perceive success, on the way they look at people who are taking a step forward and doing amazing work. So whenever I get an opportunity, whenever I used to get an opportunity with any person, and we are talking about, I see their achievements, I get inspired, I want to sit them down, and they share with me how they have made it. My curiosity would be on these things.
Yes.
What was your background?
My background?
No, I'm like that's the first thing that comes into my mind when I want to sit down someone who I see that they are doing great achievements and doing great work that inspires me.
Yeah.
So my first question used to be, I wanted to know a story of how they grew up.
Yeah.
Did they grow up in the affluent parentage, so that I know that maybe it's because they had it all smooth.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they made it. Maybe just because my background is different from theirs, I may not really be as theirs. Then my other question would be, at what age did you really start making these big strides? So if they told me that maybe, I suffered, but maybe like at 21, I had like this big thing, then I start comparing myself. Now you're 21, where were you at 21? I was still hustling there, not even, can't buy my shoe. Then I was like, now I'm like 23. How old are you now? It's like, oh, now I'm like 30. Now I start calculating. Will I be really here by 30? It seems like the time is running so fast. The challenges I'm facing are very many. I don't have anyone to fall back, like not that of affluent parentage that you have to fall back and call them in case of any challenge. So I used to be the worst critic of myself. And the worst thing would be like I never used to look at the positive things I'm doing. My mind would focus on what I'm not achieving. If I set goals of 10 things to achieve in a year and achieve 4, I don't focus on the 4 and I appreciate and feel that gratitude of what I've achieved. I would focus on the 6 that I've failed, then I start beating up myself. And I was talking through some other person in the manhood program, and I saw that I'm not the only person. He was also going through the same thing. So as I was talking to him, because he is a person that was following me, so for him he was actually appreciating my work more than I was. Then he told me, I think I cannot make it like you. He asked me my age. I told him. He was like, because what you're doing, I feel like you must have had a better way or a better channel or a better path to that. Because for me, when I look back at my background, I feel like I may not be where you are. Then that made me rethink. I was like, oh, so this is the same question I also used to ask myself. So this also person is also asking the same about me.
Because that is what
so
in the society we grow up in. We grow up when you look at Uganda. And I think it is common around Africa and amongst the young people. First, we don't have very many examples of successful entrepreneurs within our own communities. So whoever succeeds out of our community or falls under the category he or she is successful from these small villages of ours and the communities, then we assume there is someone behind their success. And we forget about the mindset this person has had to cultivate, the kind of work he or she has had to put in. So we just look at them at a far distance, and we start pointing at them. They are successful. Mainly, I think there is someone behind their success.
We focus on the success that is there. Never look at where they've come from to achieve
and the
success.
kind of work they have put in, what they have had to navigate, the kind of challenges they have had to navigate. I didn't grow up in a very affluent family. Most people who don't know me think maybe I grew up in a very rich family. Honestly, we were not doing bad. I never lacked a meal. I had a roof. I have had a roof on top of my head all the time. I think also both my parents are entrepreneur. My mother likes to start small businesses. My dad does his own things on the farm.
Yeah.
So when you look at those two things, that is entrepreneurship. If I was raised by a father who is a herdsman and knows how to keep these cows healthy, that is entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so
if my mother built small businesses, then they're both entrepreneurs. So from a very young age, I would watch that, and I was always inspired by that. Secondly, I really, when I joined university and started meeting fellow young people in university, I started to develop this deep interest of talking to people, and I would share their life challenges.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would listen to people's stories, and I'm like, I think I'm really better than Hope. I'm better than of many people.
You realize that people are actually facing real problems.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think I'm actually fortunate compared to many other people.
Yeah.
So that is a blessing.
Yeah.
If as a young person you can define your own space and you realize, I think there are some opportunities you have compared to other young people. So if you develop more of that kind of awareness, then it calls you to offer yourself more for the betterment of your society. Secondly or thirdly, I think I got an opportunity to go to a school where they would give us access to mentors. They would bring back young people who had gone through that school, and they would talk to us. So it started to shape my mindset around the path I wanted to take. And I think I had that kind of clarification at a very young age. Then, I continued to speak to people who were older than me. Up to now, I still do. I always cultivate relationships of people who are older than me, who are really ahead in their entrepreneurship journey, building businesses, building organizations. Don't be afraid of knocking on certain doors. You don't know exactly where that door can lead to.
Yeah, sure.
Another thing I would like to mention is if you have an idea, don't be afraid of communicating it. Talk to people. You will never build anything meaningful, anything impactful, if you feel you can do it alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to people, communicate your idea, bring people on board. Don't be afraid. You don't know what that one relationship will lead to. There is a common philosophy that you are always one relationship away from changing your life, changing your organization, changing your idea.
Yeah.
One relationship. So you can speak to one person, and this one person can lead you to very many other people. So, in terms of age, I think at around 26, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26. Those were really life-turning ages in my life. At 26, I had really started to gain a lot of clarity about my life's purpose, what I needed to pursue. And the more it became clearer, the more I paid attention to it. The more I started to talk to people about what was inspiring to me, what I wanted to do, what I felt like was the future I wanted to create. And those people have turned out to be mentors, have turned out to be people who encourage me, reach out and say, we are watching what you're doing, keep going.
I really also believe that you feel like you have started to live the day you find out what your actual purpose is.
Absolutely.
There's the way you feel like you're doing the right thing, and you feel like you now have something that is moving you. There is something that makes you wake up to do. And when you're doing something that you love, you don't burn out.
It's evolution.
Yes, where things hit you down, you have that thing that is making you to wake up again and tackle the day meet people and talk to them, and it's but you see, I know that compassion is a thief of joy.
Yeah.
And we are in the modern society whereby you're either behind or on top.
Yes.
Or you're either the first or the last. So that perspective, I don't know how best we can really learn how to maintain our lane.
Run your own pace.
Yes.
What I would say to that is I see very many young people or people really burn out, really get stressed because they feel they are not ahead.
Yes.
They are not doing as much as they want to.
Or as their peers are doing.
In comparison to others they are watching.
Yeah.
But what I would really say, run your own race. Understand clearly the things you want to do. In building that idea, in building the business, in building the organization that you care about. Clearly, first map out what you need to do to get ahead. And if you can get that clear, and if you can communicate that to your team, if you can bring different stakeholders on board, run your own race. But also, another thing I would say, look at your journey as an evolution. As an evolution. Today, when you wake up, you will do certain things to move you ahead. If you fail, at least you have not failed in all aspects of life. Your thinking might have changed. You have gained a fresh perspective, a fresh angle of how you need to go about what you need to do next.
That is a step that is always taken.
Exactly. You move whenever you fail or you meet challenges, you have moved at least one step away from where you started. That is evolution. Look at life as evolution. And most of the work, whenever I get an opportunity to speak to young people, to engage with young people, like through this show and many other platforms, most of the work happens within you. You might wake up every day and you do things in the eyes of other people. You are not making progress. You are not successful. But for you, you actually feel that what you're doing is success to you. Success to you. You feel the way you used to do things.
It's not the way you're doing them now.
You are doing it better. That is success to you. And within you feel more aligned towards the journey you are walking. Focus on that.
So just the main focus, when you focus on yourself and what you're doing, really gives you a clear vision to where you're going. Because people don't know what is inside you. They don't know where you're going. They don't know what you're really focused on.
Flow with your fire.
So Enock, I'm very curious. I'm very sure that this is a question you've probably been answering in any engagement that you meet, maybe from way back since it happened. I'm very curious. I want to know, how was that feeling when President Obama mentioned your name and among the young, impactful individuals of the continent? I can't imagine that feeling. I was talking to one of my sisters and she was like, if it was me, I would put this video on the billboard of one day so that everyone knows that really I've been organized. I want to know, because we need that inspiration. There's the way really.
I never knew it was going to happen. That's number one. Number two, I had spent the last 3 years involved in work. I was on the field, on ground, working. But working not because I needed Obama's recognition, but because the work was important to my community. Let's stay there for a bit. I had spent 3 years. Actually 3 in Rwanda, then 2 in Uganda. So those are 5.
Those are 5,
In Rwanda, I was in a rural area working, at a school leading a leadership program. I came to Uganda, I became the country director for African Children's Mission. So the two different organizations, but the place of work didn't change. I was in the community, deeply involved in work that was impactful to my community. The recognition came because actually I had put in the work. That is very important.
Yes.
Very important.
As young people, we might focus on looking for recognitions and we forget putting in the work. It is important to put in the work. Recognitions happen.
I think that gives birth to a saying of your repetition precedes you. The
Yes.
things that you do
Your
are the ones that speak,
reputation precedes you. Very important.
are the things that speaks for you.
Absolutely. You have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Wake up every day, pursue that thing that you care about, but don't just stop at talking about it. Put in the work. Do the hard work. Even when it is uncomfortable, do it. So it was really very inspirational to be recognized by a leader like President Obama on a global stage during that time. So it was a strong call to action for me. He was like, we see you. To me it was like, we see you, we value the work that you do. Please go back to Uganda and continue doing the same work. Go back to Africa, continue doing the same work. Because that work that got you for here for this recognition is still necessary, is still of value to your people. Go back. So it was a very strong call to action for me.
That was really amazing, because I also believe that recognition is actually a byproduct of hard work.
Yes.
It's like the thing I normally talk about, that money, I don't think we should really pursue money. I believe that you should pursue creating an impact.
Yes.
Then money will be a byproduct of the impact that you create. Because I believe, this is my opinion, I believe that most of the times when your sole purpose, when your sole object that you're pursuing is money, that's when you burn out.
Yes.
Because you may not get it all, or you may not get enough of it.
There are many frustrations associated with that, around that. You might be obsessed with pursuing money, and you forget to create the value that brings the money. So you create the value and the money comes. So are the things you are doing, the question is, are the things you are doing of value? You get the point? If the answer is yes, then the money part will come.
Absolutely.
You can be somewhere doing the work and your name is being shared in rooms that you never even know.
True.
Because actually you have something to show. There is work going on and someone is sharing your name in rooms that you never even expect. If you put in the work, you will go into rooms, you will meet people that sometimes you never dreamed of meeting. It starts from there.
I think what most of the people and the young people have failed to understand is, to achieve anything in life, you have to put in the work. And there is always a price to pay. Sometimes it's not monetarily, but it is the social network that you have that really makes you and helps you to achieve what you really want in life. And the way you treat yourself, the way you're given, even if it is a small work, and the way you do it, it really depicts on what people are going to look at and what they're going to talk about you, wherever they will be talking about you. So it is indeed the work that you have to put in to make sure you achieve that.
In my life to be in spaces and meet people who are successful, who have really been successful in their field. I have had that opportunity. But when you talk to people who are really successful, whether as social entrepreneurs, business people who have built successful companies, their breakthrough always comes after a certain period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in 2 months, in 3 months, in a year.
Yeah.
Some of them take 5, 10, 15 to really have breakthrough with what they do.
Yeah.
And when they have the breakthrough, they never come back. They never go back to where they started. It is always one step ahead every time. Because there is a time when they sacrificed, went through the most challenging part of their lives, but when they didn't give up, they focused on building the foundation, putting in the work for 5, for 10 years.
Yeah.
I was speaking to one of the entrepreneurs, and after 10 years, that is when he managed to bring on board who has turned a foundation that has turned out to be the biggest funder of their work. But the foundation watched them for 10 years.
Wow.
Move the journey with them.
Wow, yeah.
So they were giving them small grants. And now they give them, more than like 100 million US dollars to do the work they are doing. More than 100 US million dollars.
I mean, it's a journey of 10 years.
Yes.
Doing the same work.
Yes. Consistently.
I mean, not this. The journey of 10 years doing the same work consistently,
resiliently,
without diverting to other things. Today you're doing this, tomorrow you're doing that.
Yes.
The other day you're doing that.
Yes.
I mean, you find yourself in the 10 years you've achieved nothing.
I was just speaking to a young girl at the African Leadership University, and I told you that the entrepreneurs of today sometimes like to jump on different things, things that are trending. Oh, this is now new and it is trending. Everyone is speaking about it. They jump on that and they leave what they are doing. And then when something new again comes up, they jump on that. It is not that the change is actually necessary because what they are doing is not working, but it is because what is trending, they are targeting the money that might come. Even when what they were doing consistently was impactful, but they have left it and jumped on the trending thing because they are chasing money.
Yeah.
The most successful entrepreneurs I have met and spoke to really look at as mentors. Do things consistently over a certain period of time. They put in the work, sacrifice, go through the most challenging part of their lives, and then at the end, they have their breakthrough. So that is what I could say.
Yeah, true. I think this reminds me of the quote from, I think it was Bruce Lee. I think I've also heard you talk about it. He said that he does not fear the person who practices 1,000 kicks 1,000 times, but he fears that person who practices one kick 1,000 times. I think it's very, very important to be consistent, move your journey, master all the mistakes, learn from them. I think I've also had Mark Cuban advise entrepreneurs that the beauty about entrepreneurship is that you have got to make those mistakes. Every time you make a mistake, pick a lesson, continue grinding. You just have to get it once. You get it once, just walk smiling to the bank, and people call you an overnight success, but they don't know the grinding that you went through.
Resilience and consistency, for me, are the keys to success as an entrepreneur, as a young person who is looking at stepping out to build any idea. Resiliency, consistency, because those are inevitable to success.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Resilience, consistency. We've got to go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in to this amazing episode with the founder of Lead Minds Africa, Enock Nkulanga. He has an amazing CV that we couldn't break down today because of time. Follow him up on all his socials, Enock Nkulanga, and get engaged with Lead Minds Africa and know the beautiful stuff they are having, their leadership programs, you can be part of this to develop your leadership skills. We all need to see the better communities and societies.
Lead Minds Africa is on Twitter at Lead Minds, on Instagram at Lead Minds Africa. We are on LinkedIn. You can visit our website www.leadmindsafrica.org and reach out to us. We are happy to engage with the young people of Uganda and Africa.
Thank you very much all. See you next Sunday.
Yes. Bye.